And the big story that we have been following, reports say that 2 US hostages who were held by Hamas in the Israel-Hamas war have in fact been released. They were among the 199 hostages taken to Gaza by Hamas. Reports also add that it's a mother-daughter duo and they have been handed over to Red Cross on humanitarian grounds.
टेलीग्राम मैसेज के जरिए हमास की तरफ से जानकारी दी गई है कि अल-कासम ब्रिगेड, जो कि हमास का मिलिट्री विंग है, उसने 2 अमेरिकी जो नागरिक हैं उनको रिहा किया है। और ये नागरिक जो हैं वो माँ और बेटी हैं, और ये भी कहा गया है कि माँ की तबीयत जो है वो ठीक नहीं है, इसलिए उनको रिहा किया जा रहा है। और इस मैसेज में साफ तौर पे कहा गया है कि मानवीय आधार पर ये रिहाई की जा रही है। एक अहम बात यह है कि इसमें यह भी कहा गया है कि कतर के जो एफर्ट्स हैं, जो मीडिएट किया है कतर ने, उसकी वजह से रिहाई की गई है। हमको पता है कि जो अमेरिकी विदेश मंत्री जब इजराइल आए थे उसके बाद 6 देशों के दौरे पर गए थे और कतर भी वो गए थे, और वहां पे खास तौर पे उन्होंने बंधकों की रिहाई को लेकर एक मध्यस्थता की उनसे मांग की थी। तो कतर की तरफ से जो एक कोशिश की गई उसका नतीजा है कि ये 2 अमेरिकी जो नागरिक हैं उनको रिहा किया गया है। और इसमें एक खास बात ये भी है कि अभी जब बाइडेन इजराइल के दौरे पर आए थे उसके बाद उन्होंने $100 मिलियन जो है गाजा के लिए उन्होंने मानवीय मदद के तौर पर देने का ऐलान किया। तो जो एक अमेरिका की तरफ से कोशिश की जा रही है, एक तो मध्यस्थता के जरिए, और दूसरा गाजा में जो आम सिविलियन जो मारे जा रहे हैं उनकी मदद के लिए, और उस मानवीय क्षति को कम से कम करने के लिए भी इजराइल के पीएम से बाइडेन ने बात की। तो लगता है कि इन सब वजहों से हमास ने अपनी तरफ से एक जेस्चर दिखाया है और 2 अमेरिकी नागरिकों को रिहा करने का ऐलान किया है, शायद इस उम्मीद में कि जो इजराइल की बमबारी है वो रुके, क्योंकि लगातार हमास की तरफ से ये शर्त रखी जा रही है कि इजराइल अगर बमबारी रोके तो वो बंधकों को रिहा कर सकता है। तो शायद एक जेस्चर के तौर पे 2 बंधकों की रिहाई की बात उसने की है, लेकिन आगे तकरीबन जो 200 बंधक उसके पास हैं, क्या उनकी रिहाई वो करता है या नहीं करता है, ये देखने की बात होगी।
We had reported that how in front of Secretary Blinken in Qatar, the Qatari Prime Minister had told the press reporters that the Hamas office will not be closed, and citing the reason that it always maintains the political communication going. And this is exactly what we are picking up is the Qatar has been the chief negotiator, and even during many prisoner exchanges in the past, or when the hostages have to be retrieved from Hamas, Qatar and Egypt always play the mediator role. And even in this one, this hectic shuttle diplomacy of Secretary Blinken, and finally Joe Biden coming in to Tel Aviv and also getting a snub from the Arab world, it has all played up together. So just giving it back to Biden that his diplomacy worked will be a sort of far-fetched statement, but certainly it has worked. It has come immediately after he has left, and this is also one of the reasons that why Israel has been suggested by the US administration not to get into the ground invasion as well, because that will also endanger the rest of the hostages there. And American nationals that are still hostages with Hamas, that is the priority of US, that one, that hostages are released safely or recovered safely, and the second, that not a larger war breaks out in the Middle East, because that will be a severe hit to his credibility as a person who is vouching for peace and stability in the Middle East, as 2 wars have broke out under his tenure. One between Ukraine and Russia, and everybody thought that it will not stretch more than a year, but it's still going on. And the second one is on the verge of a larger war if Israel doesn't stop bombing Gaza. But besides Mr. Biden's visit, there were other factors also which can be considered for why the hostages have been released, like Israel saying that it will not allow the aid to get in until every hostage is released. Right. Now, these every factors have certainly contributed to the release of 2 hostages.
On to another one of our top stories. Over the last 24 hours, the Mahua Moitra cash for query saga has unraveled very fast. Multiple developments show that the TMC MP is now getting cornered. In the latest, NDTV has accessed the notarized copy of Darshan Hiranandani's affidavit, which debunks TMC MP Mahua Moitra's claims. Mahua had questioned the authenticity of the affidavit, saying it was not on a letterhead and was not notarized. Earlier in the day, in the civil defamation suit filed by Mahua, the case was postponed to 31st of October after her lawyer withdrew from the case. This came as Jay Dehadrai told the High Court that the senior counsel had called him the previous evening and tried to mediate between him and Mahua Moitra.
In the cash for questions tale, a plot twist and a rap from court that now has TMC MP Mahua Moitra cornered in the raging controversy.
to resurrect the right of a non-homogeneous, diverse...
Gopal Shankar Narayanan, Mahua Moitra's arguing counsel, has withdrawn from appearing for her in court. This after Jay Dehadrai, against whom Moitra had filed a defamation case for his damning allegations, said that the TMC MP's lawyer reached out to him last night for a settlement. Judge Sachin Datta told Shankar Narayanan he was appalled at the conflict of interest, since the same person could not be both mediator and arguing counsel. Following this, Shankar Narayanan withdrew from the case.
I had reached out to him yesterday, that is correct, and had asked him, look, is there any way of exploring a settlement? That's all that the conversation was about. Jai had said he'd get back to me. He didn't get back to me. Today when I appeared, Jai personally said he had an objection to me appearing. I immediately withdrew.
The courtroom drama comes in the backdrop of an explosive affidavit by Darshan Hiranandani, the billionaire linked to bribery allegations against Mahua. In a surprising turn of events, Hiranandani said that Mahua had given her Lok Sabha login to him, and he uploaded questions on her account attacking PM Modi and the Adani group. He went on to say that Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Shashi Tharoor helped Mahua Moitra in her questions against Adani and PM Modi. Mahua Moitra called the letter a joke, asking why was it not on a letterhead or a stamp paper. She said that the government forced him to sign the letter. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Lok Sabha Ethics Committee told NDTV they have received Hiranandani's affidavit and that Mahua may be summoned after all evidence is examined.
विनोद सोनकर जी, जो आरोप लगे हैं महुआ मोइत्रा पर, गंभीर आरोप बताए जा रहे हैं, एथिक्स कमेटी इसको किस तरह से देखती है?
देखिए, निश्चित रूप से महुआ मोइत्रा पे बहुत गंभीर आरोप हैं। उसको लेके निशिकांत जी के द्वारा और सम्मानित वकील के साहब के द्वारा स्पीकर महोदय को एक पत्र दिया गया है और लोकसभा स्पीकर उस पत्र को एथिक्स कमेटी को रिफर किए हैं। उस पत्र को लेके 26 तारीख को निशिकांत जी को और उनको दोनों लोगों को कमेटी के सामने उपस्थित होके जो भी साक्ष्य उनके पास है उनको दिखाने के लिए कहा गया है, प्रस्तुत करने के लिए कहा गया है। साथ ही साथ उनके बयान को दर्ज कराने के लिए भी निशिकांत जी को भी निर्देश दिए। हीरानंदानी जी का जो एफिडेविट है उसका एग्जामिन करेगी और आवश्यकता पड़ेगा तो महुआ मोइत्रा को भी बुलाया जाएगा, उनका भी पक्ष जाना जाएगा कि उन पर जो भी चीजें आई हैं वो उसके बचाव में या उसके में क्या कहना चाहते हैं।
The BJP has questioned the silence of the India bloc.
जब ये एक प्रकार से सबजुडिस है, लोकसभा की एथिक्स कमेटी के सामने है, सारा विषय सामने आना चाहिए क्योंकि संसदीय प्रणाली में घूसखोरी की कोई स्थान नहीं है।
Opposition leaders meanwhile say we must not jump the gun on the allegations.
Why go on a witch hunt about why go on a witch hunt against people who ask questions and who raise their voices against the government?
मोइन मित्रा जी संसद की बहुत मुखर सांसदों में से एक हैं, टीएमसी की प्रमुख नेता हैं, उनकी आवाज़ जनता की आवाज़ है संसद के अंदर, लिहाजा मामला बहुत गंभीर है। मामला सारा चूँकि एथिक्स कमेटी को सौंपा गया है जिसमें वरिष्ठ सांसदों की हिस्सेदारी होती है, मुझे उम्मीद है कि एथिक्स कमेटी सब लोगों से संबंधित पक्षों से बातचीत करके कोई इसमें उचित फैसला ले।
देखिए, अभी ऐसा कोई ठोस सबूत आया नहीं है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के माननीय सांसद ने आरोप लगाया है कि गठबंधन से इसका कोई ताल्लुक ही नहीं है, इसको गठबंधन से जोड़ना ही गलत है।
It is becoming increasingly difficult for Mahua Moitra to wriggle out of these charges. So far, these are just allegations. The big political controversy also comes as a setback to the opposition alliance in a crucial election year. In New Delhi, Vedant Agarwal for NDTV.
Shifting focus now, and Canada said it's withdrawing 41 diplomats from India. Fallout from a bitter war of words over the killing of a Khalistani terrorist on Canadian soil. Canadian Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly said that India planned to revoke diplomatic immunity for all but 21 of Canada's diplomats and their families, forcing Canada to pull out others. However, sources in the Indian government have said that Canada's decision to cease operations in 3 Indian consulates is a unilateral decision and that India's action was as per the provisions of the Vienna Convention.
The safety of Canadians and of our diplomats is always my top concern.
Canada has finally withdrawn 41 of its diplomats from India. The Canadian Foreign Minister announced this at a press conference.
41 Canadian diplomats and their 42 dependents were in danger of having immunity stripped on an arbitrary date, and this would put their personal safety at risk. The safety of Canadians and of our diplomats is always my top concern. Given the implications of India's actions on the safety of our diplomats, we have facilitated their safe departure from India. This means that our diplomats and their families have now left.
India has reacted sharply to this. In a statement, the MEA said, "The state of our bilateral relations and their continued interference in our internal affairs warrant a parity in mutual diplomatic presence in New Delhi and Ottawa. Our actions in implementing parity are fully consistent with Article 11.1 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. We reject any attempt to portray the implementation of parity as a violation of international norms." Canada's FM has announced a pause in the functioning of 3 consulates, Chandigarh, Bangalore and Mumbai. This will adversely affect a large number of visa hopefuls, mainly students. Since Canada accused India of having a hand in the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada last year, relations between the two countries have hit an all-time low. India has said if evidence is shared, India is ready to look at it. On being asked about this, Canadian FM said there were meetings and information was given. In New Delhi, Kadambini Sharma for NDTV.
Shifting focus now to poll-bound Telangana, and the cash seizures continue in the state. Now, poll officers have confirmed to NDTV that 286 crores have in fact been seized in Telangana over the past 11 days.
Yes, indeed. Very shocking that almost 286 crore rupees has been seized in just 11 days of the Model Code of Conduct coming into play. And if you were to compare it with 2018, over a 2-month period when the Model Code was in place, 128 crores had been seized, and even that was counted as one among the highest. But apart from this, what I must point out right now as a development is that 5 more IPS officers have been ordered to be transferred by the Election Commission. On the 11th of October, just about a week ago, the Election Commission had ordered the transfer of the Hyderabad Commissioner, Police Commissioner, Warangal Police Commissioner, Nizamabad Police Commissioner, 10 District Superintendents of Police, and also senior officers of the secretary level. And also they had ordered 4 district collectors who would have played district election officers. Now the transfers that have happened are seeming to be of people who are, there are 3 trends that you can in fact see. One is of non-cadre officers being replaced by cadre officers. Second one, officers who have been in the loop line seem to be getting into the main stream or being brought back into main positions. For instance, somebody, Mr. Rohit Raju, who was Group Commander of Greyhounds, has been posted as Deputy Commissioner of Police Southeast Zone. Balaswamy, who was DCP Branch Rachakonda, is now transferred as DCP Southwest Zone Hyderabad. Nitika Pant, who was in Women's Safety Cyberabad, has been brought as DCP of Task Force. Dr. Chetna Maila Buatula, who was Anti-Corruption Bureau, has been brought in as Commissioner of Police Pedapalli. And Mr. Tarun Joshi, who was in fact IGP training in Hyderabad, has been transferred and brought in as Joint Commissioner of Police Rachakonda. So all of this are very key postings that have happened now, and from what I understand, this is big changes, of course, because just a week ago we have seen, for instance, the Hyderabad Police Commissioner, Mr. C.V. Anand, being replaced by another senior IPS officer, Sandeep Shandelia, who was Director of the Telangana State Police Academy.
In fact, my colleague Uma Sudhir also spoke to Telangana Minister K.T. Rama Rao on these massive cash seizures. Listen in.
The amount of money that's being seized is phenomenal, 243 crores just in 10 days. How do you look at it?
Well, I think you have to ask this question to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, because significant portion of that amount was actually caught in Karnataka in the hands of Ambika Pati, a Congress corporator. I think he was caught with about 50 crores, unfortunately about 8
How are you relating that to Telangana? 243 crores that I'm talking about is just in Telangana what's been seized.
How is that related to Telangana? Are you serious? Because we have been told, because there are a lot of people who have common businesses in both Karnataka and Telangana. There are a few builders who have told me in person that the Karnataka government has started charging an extra election tax, 500 rupees per square feet. And they're telling the builders directly onto their face that this money is being used for supporting and funding the Congress party in Telangana election. And that is where the money is being caught, the route.
We'll slip into a short break at this point. News and updates will continue on the other side. Welcome back. Now, big day ahead for ISRO on Saturday. The ambitious Gaganyaan mission will launch a human crew to an orbit of 400 kilometers and bring them safely back to Earth. ISRO's top scientist, Dr. Unnikrishnan Nair, spoke exclusively to NDTV, explaining how the Gaganyaan project is a game changer.
Now we go to a mission. That is, the first mission is demonstrating the crew escape system during flight. So we had done a pad abort test a few years back, but now the most important thing in Gaganyaan is the safety of the crew. So we should ensure that at any stage during ascent phase, if anything, unfortunately, if anything goes wrong with the vehicle, the safety of the crew is very important. For that, there is a crew safety or crew escape system, different stages. So this crew escape system, which is operating during the first stage of the vehicle when the S-200, two solid strap-ons are firing, so that has to work at different conditions. One is at launch pad. Secondly, during the ascent phase, like there are certain critical events like the transonic condition when the rocket speed is crossing from subsonic to supersonic, or a high dynamic pressure region. So there are identified zones at which if we activate the escape system, how the escape system is going to behave and what are the physiological levels experienced by the crew module. Of course it is unmanned, but then we can measure and see. So the immediate test what we are going to do, we have a device that test vehicle which is derived from the strap-on, liquid strap-on of GSLV. It's a single stage vehicle, liquid stage, and then over the test vehicle we fix the crew escape system. Crew escape system is basically an assemblage of quick acting solid motors, and inside that the crew module will be there, and the test vehicle will take the crew escape system to the required condition. Here we are going to do at a transonic condition, that is Mach numbers close to 1.2, and at that time vehicle will be the escape system will be activated, and the crew module will be taken away from the vehicle, and then you release the crew module, a parachute will be deployed, and then it will splash down and then we collect it back. So basically it is demonstrating transonic condition, the in-flight demonstration of the crew escape system.
With that, it's a wrap on the show. Keep watching NDTV.